about WWE. That was a thing I did. So in WWE, man, like I remember this thing, right? This thing I had with WWE, right? I was just like, it got to a point where I thought WWE was a real thing. So like, basically, I thought all of this stuff they're doing in these acts, right? Thought all of this was real, and so I just came to the point where I got so obsessed with this that I thought it was real, and I don't know how I thought that, because this is obviously not real. It's scripted. It's not a real act people do. Like, you don't just go out there and act like it's normal to throw a chair at somebody or to tackle somebody like that, because obviously, because the entrances they do as well are definitely like chosen, and they're supposed to be like acts of performance, and this is just like performing arts and stuff like that. So saying it's real isn't necessarily true, because there's a lot of things that play into it, and as to why it's not a real sort of a real sort of thing. So yeah, that's one thing, and I remember actually like doing a lot of like I remember actually being like so obsessed with WWE, right, that I reenacted some of this stuff. Like I remember used to jump on my bed and all of that and do these WWE acts, and it was quite crazy because I was just jumping on my bed and I was doing all this stuff. And mind you, I was 12 years old or something like that. So what can you expect, right? When you're 12 years old, you do a lot of weird things, and in your life you end up doing some immature things, you know. So yeah, that's sort of what I lead into with this one here. So, and also the WWE games were a big thing of this, and there was also investing in WWE characters and stuff like that. So like I would just basically, spend so much money on these WWE items and stuff like that, and then for a long time, right, for a long time, I just kept on doing this, and I just kept buying WWE figures, buying WWE figures, buying them, 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 buying them. I just kept buying them and 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 buying them. So yeah, I just kept buying them, and I had it. I've also bought this WWE T-shirt, this Hulk Hogan T-shirt, and I had another T-shirt as well. I bought a lot of things in this phase, and usually when I'm really obsessed with something, I do actually end up buying a lot of things with it. So it led to that point where I was just buying so much stuff, right, where I got so obsessed that I bought a lot of things, and that kind of thing happened. I had a WWE poster of John Cena and The Undertaker and all of that, and there was actually a point, right, there was a point where I used WWE Network, if I mentioned that or not, I used WWE Network, right, but it got to a point where I actually probably only watched, like, I only watched the mainstream sort of WWE stuff, so SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and stuff like that. I never watched any old school stuff, so like there's this one person that came over to New Zealand, and he was telling me, oh, you could watch the old school stuff, because I was really into that, and they told me about that. So I did that, and I got really into that as well. So I got into the old school stuff like Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, Kane, The Rock, and stuff like that, and John Cena. You Can't See Me, and that type of thing. I got really into that stuff. What and you can expect it, right? Because I'm a boy, and it'd be like, yeah, a boy would really like WWE.